To everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
Sharini is going to be presenting on regulation of immigration consultants. So she's an immigration consultant herself. She has been a regulated Canadian immigration consultant registered with the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council since March 2020. And she's an authorized representative for Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. Sharini graduated from the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, with a bachelor's and master's in law, and she migrated to Canada in 2017 and formed her own immigration practice, Fine Immigration. So you are free to go into more detail, and I'll let you take it away from here and just hop on at the end of the session as well to close it out. All right? Thanks so much, Sharini. Oh, sorry. There you go.
Yes, Jessie, thank you very much. So, hi, I'm Sharini Wijeyesekera. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant since March 2020. And I will be presenting you on a very topical topic, which is your immigration consultant regulated? I believe many of you are interested in coming to Canada and have researched on various areas where you can get this information. But I believe it is very important that your consultant is regulated, and the representative who will be representing you with the IRCC is someone who is licensed and who is not a ghost consultant or someone who is depicting out to be an immigration consultant. So let me start with my presentation. Okay, so is your immigration consultant regulated? Who can represent you is the first question that we will ask at this point. The government of Canada recognizes two types of representatives, paid and unpaid. So for paid representatives are lawyers and paralegals who are members in good standing of a Canadian provincial or territorial law society. There can be notaries who are members in good standing of the Chambers de Notaire du Québec, and citizenship or immigration consultants who are members in good standing of the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council. As regards unpaid representatives, they are our family members. They could be friends and other third parties who do not charge a fee. So at this point, if I am to explain it a bit further, there are people who can represent you, who can help you out in your application with IRCC. You alone can fill in your application. IRCC allows you to fill in your own application and submit for immigration purposes, but it is always better to retain an immigration consultant, a lawyer, or a notary from Quebec if that is where you're interested in immigrating to. As regards family members and friends and other third parties who do not charge a fee and can represent you, they will be only a guide, but sometimes they may not know the technical details and also the legislative implications in filling out certain information. So it is always better to go and get your application and your immigration plans verified and checked with an immigration consultant or a lawyer for that matter. Essentially, the duties of representative is to explain and give advice on your immigration or citizenship options, help you choose the best immigration program for you, fill out and submit your immigration or citizenship application, communicate with the government of Canada on your behalf, represent you in an immigration or citizenship application or hearing, advertise that they can give immigration or citizenship advice. In April 2019, an investigative report by Canada's Globe and Mail newspaper revealed the practices of 45 international recruiters and immigration consultants who are facing accusations of exploiting more than 2,000 foreign workers and students. So this is something that caused a great deal of alarm. And because of that reason, the immigration consultants and anyone who is representing a client or someone from the public has been regulated ever since. Currently, the regulator for immigration consultants is the the ICCRC. And you will see that in these two videos that I'm going to show you next, how the IRCC, that is the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, the main authority in immigration, the governmental authority, and also the ICCRC, the council that regulates immigration consultants, has created two awareness videos for people like you who are interested in immigration to Canada to have done their due diligence and to have not got into a mess by going into agents or going into people who will give you false advice and give you false promises. So just give me a second until I load this video. Yes. Okay.
I want to immigrate to Canada.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Work visas, family applications, approvals, I can guarantee them. Fast, fast, fast. And I take cash.
You take cash. Don't be the victim of a disappearing act. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you use an unauthorized representative, your application may be refused and you could be defrauded. Each year, Citizenship and Immigration Canada approves hundreds of thousands of immigration applications from those who use immigration representatives. But only some people are authorized to charge a fee to represent you on a Canadian immigration application. Find out who is an authorized representative and who can legally represent you by visiting our website.
I will be showing you another video. This video was presented by the ICCRC. Just give me a second again. It takes a little bit of time.
Canada is home to more than 7 million immigrants. And it is estimated that within the next 3 years, we will welcome more than 1 million more new immigrants. Living in Canada can mean new opportunities or reuniting with family. It can also mean security and freedom from oppression. For millions of people, a life in Canada is highly sought after. But Canada's immigration process can be very complex to navigate. It can be confusing and difficult, with frequently changing laws and regulations. That is why many applicants use the services of an immigration consultant. It's important to know that Canadian law requires an immigration consultant to be licensed by ICCRC. Otherwise, a person must be a member of a Canadian Law Society or a Quebec notary to give immigration advice for any type of compensation. ICCRC regulates over 4,600 Canadian immigration consultants, protecting immigrant applicants from fraudulent, illegal, and unethical actions in their immigration process. Punishment for unlawful representation may result in a fine of up to $100,000 and 2 years in prison, and an application may be returned or refused. Ensure your Canadian immigration consultant is licensed by ICCRC. Be aware that there are many unauthorized representatives working in this field. ICCRC is here to protect those applying for immigration to Canada. Visit our website to verify that your consultant is licensed, or search for a regulated Canadian immigration consultant to assist you with your application.
Thank you. So, as you note, I will be going back to my presentation slides. And so, yes, so we will be looking at tips to protect you from immigration fraud. So, as indicated in both of those videos, it is pertinent that you do retain an immigration consultant or a lawyer in the event that you wish to immigrate to Canada. There are certain tips to protect you from immigration fraud, and I have listed a couple of those here. In this slide, you can see. These are certain things that ghost consultants, as we call it, will tell you about immigrating to Canada, and also as to how they will represent you. These are certain tips that you may note that, if, let's say, the person that you have contacted as the immigration consultant who will help you to come to Canada, if you note that any of these things are evident in your relationship with that consultant, well, there is a red sign for you to be aware of. And so take note. I will just go through a couple of them. So the first thing is titles and diplomas. Unlicensed immigration consultants may use titles that have different meanings, but that can be seen as interchangeable. So they may come to you as lawyers, they may come to you as immigration students, they may come to you as immigration professionals. They will say that they have a diploma in immigration, that they have diploma in immigration law, and per se. But unless they are a lawyer who has enrolled with one of the law societies of Canada, or unless they are a regulated immigration Canadian consultant, it is advisable that you do not retain them, because they do not have the authority to represent you with IRCC. So another thing that you should be aware of is signatures and forms. The first thing that an immigration consultant or a lawyer would do is, when you come in for that initial consultation, they will advise you of your pathway, and also inform you that you have to sign a retainer agreement in order to start work on the process. Without a retainer agreement, an immigration consultant or a lawyer will not be allowed to, is not authorized to perform any work for you or to take any money from you. So because of that, it is very important that somebody asks you to sign a retainer agreement that gives out the duties and responsibilities of the consultant, as well as the work that that consultant will be performing on your behalf. Another thing is for you to do your own due diligence when it comes to looking at your immigration consultant. The first thing that you can do is make sure that they are in the public register. You can access the public register by going to the ICCRC website. You always check to make sure that your immigration consultant is in good standing on the ICCRC's online public register. So this is possible by going to their website, and also the same can be done with regard to lawyers as well. And the other thing, a very important matter that you need to know in retaining your immigration consultant is, are they accepting services and payments by cash? Because as an immigration consultant, they are not authorized to accept any form of payment in cash. It is always recommended that all payments are made either by check or by e-transfer or a bank transfer. So there is no form of giving money out to a person. So that is something that you have to be cautious about. And the other thing that is very important, as you and all of us are guided by the moral code of ethics, especially the immigration consultants who are regulated by ICCRC, there is a professional code of conduct that we adhere to and that we abide by. So it is important that you make sure that your consultant at any point doesn't ask you to cheat or lie in an immigration application. So, and we'll always verify your documents and do the due diligence necessary in order to file your application. The next one that I'm going to talk about is with all the immigration consultants and the lawyers representing clients, there have been many instances where ghost consultants have been taking money from clients and have been defrauding them. There are numerous cases, as mentioned before in one of the articles that was presented in the Globe and Mail, which said there were over 47 cases of immigration fraud. So one of the initiatives that was taken by the government of Canada was to introduce the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants Act in 2019, which came into force on 26th November 2020. It was announced by Minister Mendocino that this act will come into force on the 26th of November 2020. The key points in this act, if I am to mention, is that firstly, it provides a statutory framework to regulate immigration and citizenship consultants. Something that you have to note at this point is, even though ICCRC was able to regulate immigration consultants, it had no authority to go over immigration consultants who were not licensed as regards ghost consultants. So the only thing they would be able to do is to take an application for a complaint, but there would not be anything that they could do, but maybe to inform the RCMP or give a hint that someone is up to no good. But now, according to the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants Act, the government is authorized to go and they can go and charge, they can go and arrest, they can go and do anything with regard to an immigration consultant who is not licensed or authorized and who has defrauded the public. So the second point is that the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants shall be the official regulator of immigration and citizenship consultants across the country. So a question arises with the immigration consultants such as us, like regulated Canadian immigration consultants, what will happen to us at this point? But in my next slide, I will be talking about it, where ICCRC has applied for to retain its status as the regulator of all immigration consultants in Canada. So the third point is the college will regulate the profession in the public interest by protecting both the public and consultants in good standing from dishonest actors who abuse vulnerable people. So the CICC will be the official watchdog of consultants across the country. It will have both the powers and tools needed for vigorous oversight, enforcement, investigation, and punishment to root out fraudulent immigration and citizenship consultants and hold them accountable for their actions. The functions of the CICC mainly would be to implement a mandatory and robust course for those wishing to obtain an immigration citizenship consulting license, to introduce transparency on fees, to provide a better system for people to make formal complaints against a consultant, to conduct investigations into a licensee's conduct and activities, prohibit persons who are not licensees from using certain titles and representing themselves to be licensees, and empower the CICC to seek an injunction for the contravention of those prohibitions. Take or require action if the CICC determines that a licensee has committed professional misconduct or was incompetent. As mentioned before, the ICCRC standing at this point in terms of this new act is that the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council has formally applied to the Honorable Marco Mendocino, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, to be continued as the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. The Minister is expected to issue a ministerial order accepting the Council's application and setting the date of continuance. On this date, the Council will formally transition to become the College. So this is the end of my presentation. I thank you. If there are any questions with regard to this, you may drop a text on the chat. And this is my details. My company email address is here, and also my LinkedIn page. The URL is here, and my contact number. If any of you would like to contact me and reach out to me, you're most welcome.